to the Y to the S. Are you serious? They can't be serious. Who do these girls think they are? Better smarten up or they won't go far. This snowy owl busted on the scene, shaking her head, didn't want to be mean, but saw the carnage lying in their wake. All this drama, they're actually all fake. Are you serious? Can't be serious. They can't be serious. Who do these girls think they are? They're adults, they don't even have a car. Welcome to the nest. Glad that you're here. You're now with the best. Are you serious? No way, to serious. It's not that serious. Are you serious? Are you serious? It's not that serious.
All right, welcome back, Nestie Besties and Owlettes. If you are here for Shanny and Rev stuff, you are on the right live stream. So thanks for coming over. If you did, follow us over here. All right, so this is on the channel called Fupa Cheese. Okay, they hosted Rev a couple hours ago. So this is a new update, yep. And I'm going to pin that channel to the top of the chat. So you'll definitely want to check out Fupa Cheese. They've been covering Shanny and Rev for a little while. All right, and this was a live interview done with Rev just a few hours ago. I watched like maybe 5 minutes of it while I was getting together the thumbnail, but the rest of it I'm going to be watching live with you guys. So let's get started.
Ran up the stairs, butt naked.
I'm going to buy a pair of headphones on DoorDash. Fuck it. Because this is bullshit. I need at least a decent pair of headphones to do proper setup here. I need that.
He really needs to turn up his mic, too.
But yeah, I'm here with you. Whatever you're doing.
All right. So we saw that, Shanny ran up the stairs, butt naked, and, showed herself. And then the stream cut off. So do you want to explain to everyone in detail what happened after that?
All right. So what happened when you saw that go dead? I was in the corner of the room over here by that window. I hopped around and I went that way, and then I quickly jumped over the bed and went out that door because she was gonna come. She was coming for me.
Can you guys hear him? I know it's super low. She's super loud and he's super low. So can you guys make out what he's saying before he gets really started here? Because he's really telling the story. Let me know. He is really low. Yeah. And the issue with that is that she's going to be really loud. So let me just bump it up a little and see if that helps. Okay.
Fucking mammoth. So I got out that door and I went into my grandmother's room, and she was in here trashing the room. She was just chucking shit and hoping stuff broke, but she didn't break anything. She was just chucking the shit around the room. Helter Skelter's gone. I think she took it. But anyway. So I was in my grandma's room, which is the room across the way here. And she came in the room and she shut the door and she sat up against it and said, "I'm not letting you out of this room." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That's insane. We're going to, listen, leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. We're going to go to sleep. Let's go to sleep. I just want to sleep." And she started to calm down a little bit. And I'm like, "Okay, so can you please get up?" And she said, "No, I'm not going to let you out of the room. You sleep deprived me for days.
Wow.
And I'm going to do the same to you now.
That's not good.
So I'm not going to allow you to sleep. I'm going to sit right here and we're going to just be here." And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. You got to get up. You got to get up. On the rest of the details of what happened there, I'm going to plead the fifth for now. But let's just say that she put my life in danger, and the cops were called because she ran down the stairs. Long story short, I managed to get out of the room. I plead the fifth on what happened there. But I'm going to tell you that I got out of the room. And she ran down the stairs and said, "That's it, you assaulted me," and called 911. The cops came. I talked to the chief of police, Guy Salerno. Long story short, the PFA was denied. And
Okay, I'm so glad you followed us over, Ghost Strip. So everyone, Ghost Strip is a Pennsylvania attorney and says, yep, Rev also has counsel, I would bet. Okay, thank you.
the reason for that was that there was no evidence to the court that there's physical violence, because there really wasn't too much evidence of her doing physical violence. So they denied the PFA. Now we have more evidence, not too much, because it's short clips, but we have a little bit more evidence that she's starting to become violent. But I don't think it's going to be enough evidence for a court to say that a PFA is justified. So what's the next step? Quietly, the chief of police told me, you need to call your uncle. You need to tell him how bad this is. Get her out. That's what happened.
Thank you, Ghost Strip. If you scroll back, I put info in chat about the 302 process for elders in PA. Okay, let's take a look at that. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, just in case APS, Adult Protective Services, did actually 302 Shanny, here's info if anyone is curious. Title 6, PA Code Section 15.71 concerns rules on involuntary intervention for elderly in Pennsylvania. Shanny definitely has a right to court-appointed counsel and likely working with them if she was 302'd. They can only hold her for 72 hours before APS has to repetition the court for more intervention. Also interesting to note that this court order cannot be used as evidence to prove she is incompetent or competent, to be honest. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. That's awesome. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I was on the phone when all this was happening, and I myself heard Guy, the chief of police, say that he called down there and he was like, he was confirming with Rev, so you went down to the courthouse and you filed a PFA? And he said yes. And he was like, well, I don't understand, so he had to call down to the courthouse and figure out what the hell was going on. So he did, and then he came back, like 10 minutes later and said the PFA was denied. So he did file the PFA. They just didn't grant it. And now he has evidence of her coming upstairs, storming upstairs over the headphones. And, and we saw the video on Jules' stream of Jason going back and forth between the rooms. That's all on video. Then we have her saying, "I hope you die," in that same instance. And then we have today or just, a little while ago, where she came up and flashed the camera and did what she did. And what she did to Rev today was...
This is not clickbait. Wookiee Lover said that she was 302'd.
At the very least, false imprisonment. She threw his phone across the room and stood in front of the door where he couldn't get out. And they're on a second story, so he literally has no other way out of the room. He had no phone, so she trapped him in that room.
And I told that to the police, and they said, well, look, here's how it is. The fact of the matter is that it's a he said, she said situation. So there is no physical activity. Obviously, you're not hurt. She's not seriously hurt. It doesn't rise to anything assault. So all that we can do is issue you citations, and you're going to have to go to court now. And that's true. We're going to have court dates, both of us. I got to tell my story. She's going to have to tell her story, and let the chips fall where they may. That's what's going to happen with that. This has gotten to a point now, though, where we are the number one. If you're talking about the cops getting called in this town, we're number one. So now it's at a point where it has to come to an end. And the chief told me what I have to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The PFA won't work because she has not been actively violent enough. So we have to move on from that, and it's going to be eviction as soon as possible. That's it.
Yeah, and you know, the uncle was wanting to play it safe. So he's been trying to be nice this entire time and not kick her out during the winter. But at this point, the cops are being called so many times, and it's coming such a big issue that he's going to have to evict her like soon, like yesterday.
That's exactly right, because there's no other choice anymore. The level of the involvement of the police is so serious now that the situation must change, period. There's no way that this can continue with her down there and me up here. That's no longer an option. So the chief told me, get your shit together. Like, look at the way you're living. You're drinking diet soda. You're drinking fucking beers. You gotta clean your life up, kid. This is not how you want to live. And I said, my mom would say that, and your mom, Barbara, would say that. He said, exactly. So listen, you do what you gotta do. You get your stuff together. You're not living clean enough. You gotta clean yourself up. And God, it was like a father. And I'm gonna listen to him.
I mean, at this point, it's getting really dangerous, and she's unhinged. She can't be trusted, and that's really all there is to it. And at this point, I do think that Rev should go back down and try again to get a PFA, because even if it's not granted again, which honestly at this point I wouldn't be surprised, because the lack of action by the police at this point is just, it wouldn't surprise me. But I do think he should go back and try and get it again, because that's a paper trail, and that shows that he is actually trying to be the bigger person. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to take the legal route of getting her out and doing something about the situation. And it's going to show that Shannon has not done anything about her situation. And it's really going to make people question, well, if it's so bad for Shanny, why has she not taken the time to go down to the courthouse and do what she needs to do? So I do think he needs to go back down and try again, while we wait for the uncle to file the paperwork and evict her.
Well,
Okay, so on the screen right now is the X post from Wookie Lover, who is Shanny's former mod and has been on the phone with Rev constantly, and said that they were on the phone with Rev when he was applying for the protection order. Okay. 302 is the equivalent of a 5150 being involuntarily I don't know what the right phrasing would be, but basically if you're of harm to yourself and others, a threat. So Wookie Lover said, and this is why the stream is titled this way, well, I'll give an update. Apparently Shannon got 302 and she's gone. The house is going to be condemned by the uncle, and they both have to leave in a week. That's the news.
There is not enough evidence to prove to the court that she's been physically violent with me. There's no proof. She would have, the cop told me she would have to actually hurt me, i.e. stab me or something like that to make this
Or like
real.
have a black eye or something.
That too. You heard it all. You were there. Yep. Black eye. He literally mentioned a knife and stabbing. So I have to get hurt. And then it becomes real. That's crazy. But that's what was told. That's what was told. 2 witnesses I have. I have one on the phone. God bless her. She's silent right now. She's great. And I have you beautiful. I just call you L. I got you here. You're 2 witnesses.
Stop flirting with the creators, Rev. So Ghost Trip, a Pennsylvania attorney, says PA Code 50 PA Statute Section 7302, they can hold her for 120 hours. Shanny has a right to a lawyer, and she can petition the court to undo under 18 PA CS Section 6111.1G2. Okay.
This is bullshit. There's a clear threat to me. I am not violent
thank
with
you,
her.
Fola.
Nope.
Or Fala. Hey, Frank.
She's violent in her rhetoric in every way. She could be violent to me now. She's being violent to me. And they're doing nothing to help me.
I mean, I'm on your side. It just, to me, it shows, Rev, can you mute? There you go. It just shows that, if the roles were reversed, it really makes me question, how things would be playing out, because I'm an avid true crime watcher. That's, one of my favorite things to watch in my free time other than this type of stuff. And I know how these things end. And it just shows me that, this is how these things go. The cops are called over and over and over again. Nothing gets done. And then something really, really bad happens. And then people get charged. And that's what we want to prevent. And we want to definitely get him out or get her out or something so that no one really gets seriously hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm going to let you control the mute on me because I see that you're muting me when you want. So I'll let you do that.
Just because there's an echo.
I don't get... Yeah, I just ordered fucking headphones. They're coming at like 11:34, between 11:34 and 11:48. So I'm going to sort that out. I promise.
That's specific.
You guys know what happened. You heard it.
Yeah.
So I have done fucking everything I can to get her out of here. He told me what I got to do, and I'm going to do it. Trying another PFA is a waste of time because there's not enough physical evidence that she's violent. Even now, there's a little clip where she was nude and you didn't see anything else. There's no proof she's physically violent yet. So I got to do what he told me to do, which is to band together with Tommy and get her out. That's it.
But see, part of the problem too is as soon as she comes in that room, and the first thing she goes for is the phone or the computer because she wants that camera cut off. And she doesn't want what she's going to do or say to be on video. And that's what I told Rev. I said, you just got to literally record everything at this point. You need to record it whether you're on live stream or you need to record it just on your phone just to have. Because she's unhinged, she's unpredictable, and she's dangerous, and she can really do a lot of harm to Rev at this point.
Felt when she put me in that room and barred me, I was looking around the room and I'm thinking, how am I going to defend myself? Because I know she's going to do something. She's just sitting there looking at me menacingly. I'm like, she's going to get up. And then she got up and I'm looking around and like I said, I got to plead the fifth on what happened in there for now. I can't tell the story. But I got out of there. I've told people, if she gets violent with me, I can defend myself. And I did defend myself. That's what I did. And I got out. But as soon as I did defend myself, she ran out of that room like she wasn't. She's not handicapped. She's not.
Nope.
She ran out of that room downstairs and dialed 911. So,
Just to be clear, we pretty much called the uh, we pretty much called 911 as soon as the stream froze up on Discord and I couldn't get a hold of you. I told Anja, she actually called, I guess on my behalf or the Discord behalf, because we were kind of worried that we couldn't get a hold of you, and she wasn't live, so it's not like we could hear what was going on. So I don't know how many people called, but yeah. And I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point, other than I'm kind of in shock of how these things have played out at this point, just because I just feel like if the roles were reversed, it would be so much different. And that's bullshit.
yeah, there's zero doubt about it. Okay, if I were female and she were male, she'd be in jail a long time ago. If I were the aggressor here in any way, I would have been in jail probably 3 nights ago. I don't understand how it could be this way, that I have literally shown the cops that I'm in a pretty good mental state. I am cogent with my responses to them. I'm telling them the stories of what's going on, and they refuse to listen to me. And it's clear in the live streams that she has been the aggressor and has been constantly live streaming. All of this is clear.
I agree. And, I'll be honest, Rev does mess with her sometimes, but what he does is funny shit, like playing his music loud or just, things like that, or yelling out words to annoy her. It's not violent stuff. He's not throwing shit at her or going down there, running up to her like she did to him, running up the stairs and yelling and screaming, it's just like Wookie said on the phone call, it's just two different ways of, she is very violent, angry, aggressive. Rev, does it in a funny way because he doesn't want her there. So why not fucking annoy her? And I just want to take the time to say that the police told both of them, well, I heard the part that they were telling Rev that she can destroy anything in that house and he can destroy anything in that house and they can't do shit about it. So if any time moving forward we see Rev destroying something or Shanny destroying something, you may as well not even call the police and waste their time because they can't do anything. And I heard that with my own ears.
And that's why I'm really glad that we're having this conversation, because you were there firsthand. They were basically telling me that, look, we can't do anything if it doesn't raise to the level of like first degree assault. That to me is absolutely amazing to me. Okay, because like you're literally telling me she has to physically hurt me. We can't prevent this. I have to be hurt first before you can do anything. That to me is wild. And this is why Ezzy told me, listen, you got to get out of there because I see this every night. And DVs like this shit ends in death a lot of times.
Yep, that's the truth.
I believe her 100%.
We are going to listen to the Jules audio. We're just going to... Oh, this is over an hour. Oh, God. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I didn't notice that. All right. So let me play the Jules audio. That's like a minute long. Okay. And yes, we are up to speed. She is gone. She's out of the house.
So I'm going to just give you this update. And as soon as you got off the phone with me, I got off the phone with you. I was trying to get to some sleep. And I heard people downstairs. It was the cops. I think that visit from the CPS person, I think the update from not CPS, but adult CPS person, she went to the cops. She told me she was going to the cops to talk to them about this. They 302'd her. The cops 302'd her. So she's out. She's gone. No Shanny in the house. I'm going to get some sleep.
All together, but I was led astray the day you walked away.
Okay. So that is audio from Rev confirming that Shanny has been removed from the house on an involuntary hold. Adult Protective Services is APS. Yes. All right. So I want to continue to hear what Rev said.
100%. And she said, honey, you get out of there. And I said, that's why I went to rehab. I probably should have stayed out there and waited for her to be ready to come and get me from where I was. But I couldn't stay in that rehab place. It was fucking insane. It's horrible.
And I also want to add that I heard the cop, and when he was up there with Rev, and he saw the room, he saw what he actually checked for weapons. He said, "Do you mind if I go up there and check for weapons?" And he did. And he confirmed that there are no weapons up there. There are no pew-pews up there. So if you hear otherwise from Shanny, that's total bullshit. I heard it from the cop's mouth himself.
That's correct, but I also want to mention that there's an airsoft gun up here missing. I think she took the loaded CO2 Glock. I think she took it. That's dangerous because she could put a few in my head and that could kill me. I'm going to tell you that. That's a dangerous fucking thing. So I got to find that. I hope that's in here and she just tossed it somewhere.
Definitely locate that. And if she... Never mind. I'll tell you privately. The chat is wanting you to know about... They're wanting you to know about G-Man. G-Man went live this morning. He said he will come there to get her out. All Jason has to do is call him.
Well, that's very interesting. Okay, I am open to the help of Gary Moore. If he I've just received an email saying that G-Man forgave me. If that's the case, Gary, I forgive you too, and I'm really sorry for everything. And if you want to help me out, I'm open to help because this woman has completely lost her mind, Gary. Completely gone. She's gone. And you tried to help me out with this, and I appreciate you trying to help me through this. But I don't. Neither one of us, Gary, can handle this. This is next level stuff. She has completely lost her mind. And I would call on Chris, maybe. Chris, if you want to email me and give me some advice of how to deal with this, he's probably tell me, you got to 302 her. I'm pretty sure that's what Chris would tell me.
But even the cops said, they can't do anything unless they hear it.
Yeah, exactly. But how are they going to be in the house with me 24/7? They can't.
I guess they mean unless you have a video of her saying I'm going to blank you, then I guess they can't do anything.
And once again, that's crazy to me for this reason. I'm trying to prevent a crime from happening. Yeah. I'm literally trying to prevent a crime. And she is the one that runs up here menacing me, ripping my equipment apart, flashing the host to ruin his show when I'm sitting up here pretty quiet, not doing nothing. I ain't trolling even. I said warts maybe once, twice. I'm up here having fun, living my life. and she comes up here and rips the room apart and then threatens my life by choking me in there. No, you're not going to kill me. I'm not going to allow you to kill me, and I'm not going to allow myself to kill you either. So I got out of that room. She said, "You assaulted me. That's it." And she called 911, and you guys heard the whole thing. Everything that went down, you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know at this point what anybody wants me to say. I
Um,
literally have felt like my life has been in danger for the last 2, 3 days. Like I feel like I could be murked. Rev, you can't just install a lock inside the bedroom door so she can't come in. Why, Jesus. What's up, last Nashy? Um, I L here keeps reminding me that I have something that I can put underneath this door to bar it, and I'm gonna do it. But I just don't want to go down there right now.
yeah.
She's she's completely quiet. I don't know what's going on down there, and I don't want to know.
Last time I checked, she was live, talking to people, but I offered to buy Rev one of those bars that kind of wedges between the door handle and it goes down to the floor, and it's kind of like what you do with the chair, but it's just like a bar that does it instead. But he said that he already has those and he has some in the basement. But after this event, he kind of wants to let things cool off before he tries to go down to the basement and get them. But I definitely told him that he doesn't need to be in his room alone, without having it shut and having that bar there, because she's proven that she will run up those stairs real quick. I mean, she did it twice within the matter of hours. We were live, like at 1 or 2 a.m., and then you were live with Drunken Peasants, and she did it that quick. So he definitely needs to do something where she can't get inside that room anymore.
She's fucking fast. I'm not. I'm telling you. I learned something today. She's faking 100%
Oh
because
yeah.
she ran. I'm telling you, she ran. She ran from my grandma's room downstairs in not even a minute. She ran. She is faking it all. I didn't know this. I was totally had by her, but she's faking it all. She's healthy. She can move around fine.
Yep. And even the cops said to Rev when he tried to tell them, hey, she can move really fast and she can walk just fine. The cop said, yeah, I know. I see her walking around and she's fine. So the cops know. And when Rev brought up the fact that she could be taken to a woman's shelter, he said that they can't just take her to the woman's shelter because
Let me just update everyone who's just coming in. So we are currently listening to an interview done with Fupa Cheese that was streamed 5 hours ago. Wookiee Lover posted on X that Shanny was 302'd. And we have audio by Rev on Jules Tells All channel that confirms that Shanny has been removed from the house. There are commands on my channel that if you need some definitions of acronyms or codes or whatever, this is a list of commands that you can enter and get a brief description of what they mean, just to cut down on the repeated questions in the chat.
there's something going on with Shanny's situation that he wouldn't discuss with me on the phone, and none of us know what that's about, but there's something going on with that. I have no idea.
Yes, and it's very interesting because he would not talk to me with you guys on the phone. So we're talking about a privacy issue. I'm thinking it has to. I'm thinking it has to do with something having to do with maybe kids, or it was prior DV. That could be what it is, but I know about that because, yeah, she did it to me. So, like, he made it clear that for some reason, it's not going to be an option for her to go to a woman's shelter. Why? Let's think about the reasons that could be. They don't
I
let
think
predators.
it's probably the DV maybe because if you think
Yeah.
about it, people that go to a shelter are vulnerable. They're probably in a domestic situation where they have to go to a shelter. And what good would it be for them to have a DV person that committed it
Well,
in the shelter
you got it.
when they're supposed to be, providing protection?
They know that she has a history of DV with me in Colorado.
Correct.
She has a
Yeah.
history.
I saw someone asking if the cops know, and they do. They're aware of what happened in Colorado.
They are 100%. They know her record, all of it, because I mean, they have all of her names. The cops got your info. That's why it's a really good idea to not fuck around with the law. It's not a good idea to fuck with the law. So they got all of her history, and they know that this happened before to me in Colorado.
Yeah,
So
the
who's
cops
gonna go?
know.
If you're judging by the history, it's her. It's clearly her. It's not me. You know, I'm gonna get some fucking granola bars.
I agree with this. This is what I think it has to do with the previous DV because, like I said, a lot of the people, not a lot, but some of the people that go to a shelter are people in Rev's situation where if something is really getting bad and they have nowhere else to go, they got to get out. And, what good would it, that they would be doing a disservice to the people in the shelter if they put someone, an aggressor, up living with, these victims. So she did that to herself.
Yeah, you're right about this, though. It would make sense. You can't go to a woman's shelter if you're a batterer yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I never thought of that.
I didn't either, honestly.
But he said, listen, this has got to come to an end one way or another. And that's the bottom line. This can't go on. The back and forth between me and her and the bullshit. It can't go on like this not a week longer. The one cop said, look, there's zero doubt that in the next month, one or two, if it keeps up like this, one of you are going to jail. There's just no question it has to happen because you have to be separated. So you got to sort this out in one way or another. You got to either you have to get out or she has to get out because you guys can't be under the same domicile. It's just not working anymore. The amount of time they've been here 29 times in 1 month.
Yeah, the cop said that they have been to Shanny and Rev's house more than everyone else in that area combined at this point. What did he say? 29 times?
29 times.
Which is like insane.
It is. That's why you say it's over. You can't be. It's got to change. Has to.
So I'm just gonna go on record and say, if Shanny, because I know I've literally heard it myself, her telling her chat to call the police, and I'm just gonna ask that the audience don't call the police unless someone is being attacked, or it's like really, really serious. But if Rev, is hollering down to her or playing the music or whatever he's doing, that's not going to warrant anything. And they've had 29 times of coming out there and over this type of stuff, and they've done nothing. So calling them over the same thing over and over again is not going to do anything. So I would say reserve your police calling for really, really serious situations.
Actual emergencies. Actual emergencies. You don't need to get involved in this, okay? They've been doing this with each other for years and years. It escalates to this point. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. You don't need to call the local police, please. They live right next to the fire department. If anything, if they hear something concerning, they can check it out. They have paramedics there. And the police have said that they watch the live stream. They watch it. So they know, okay? They know.
We were watching the live stream. We were watching the live stream.
Okay? They know.
I mean, the place that I'm in right now is I have to remain calm and don't yell at her and don't use the speaker to troll her. I can't do anything. What I have to do is I have to remain pretty much quiet up here, like the way I'm talking to you. And I have to get Tommy. We have to come together, me and Tommy. And it can't be in spring. We're going to have to do it sooner.
Yeah.
Get her out.
There was someone in chat offering to buy you some shoes if you needed some, and they're wanting to know your shoe size.
That's very sweet. It's like an 8.5, 8. I appreciate that a lot.
And someone else said they sent you a Venmo, and they asked if you got it.
Let me see. I really appreciate everything with that because I do need money. Let me see.
Yeah, and the reason I put the Venmo up there is when Rev took the Uber, it cost like $40.
Right. I hear that.
In order for him to get back down there, he needs another 40.
I did get somebody's Venmo, and I got some headphones quick because I need headphones. But it said specifically in the friggin' Venmo, get headphones, so I did. But I'm gonna save money in case I need to get back to the courthouse. But doing another PFA right now is useless because there's no physical evidence other than of quick clips of vague things of her being violent. So a PFA ain't gonna happen right now. She would have to hurt me bad. Well, I won't say bad, but she would have to physically, I would have to draw blood in some way.
And you'd have to have proof of it, too. You have to have proof that you did it.
Uh-huh. There has to be some kind of physical thing like that.
Is that Wookiee Lover piping in there?
For them to act.
Wow.
And even then, if it's not a serious enough injury, they still can't do anything. If it's just a little mark on my leg or a little scratch, they can't do anything.
Yeah, Shannon had a mark on her leg, and they didn't do anything today, so.
Yep. I'm pretty sure the reason she had a mark on her leg is because she fell. I heard a thud when she got to the end of the stairs. So I think she poof. But regardless, she had a mark, and I'm here.
So how does the citation work? You just get mailed something?
Mm-hmm. Comes in the mail. There's going to be a court date on this one for both of us. So it's serious now.
Well, she
Probably
needs to be
one-
forced to
one
do
of us is
something
gonna go
because
to
of her
jail.
actions.
Hmm?
I said, well, she needs to be forced to do something because of her actions.
I agree. But it's going to come to court. I tell my story, she tells her story, and somebody's going to go to jail probably. That's the way it's gone. I didn't think it would go this far. Yep.
She did, and it's on stream.
I got screenshots. I got video. She did it. Nude.
And was shaking her stuff.
Pathetic. It's so pathetic. That's good.
I want to let you know that someone in the chat said that you can ask for an advocate at the courthouse to help you through the paperwork. And there are DV advocates at the courthouse, just so you know.
That's very good to know. That's really good to know. But I'm going to tell you that I wasn't at the courthouse to file the PFA. I was at the family court.
Yeah, that's where they told you to go.
That's where they told me to go. I asked at the desk with the cop. I said, hey, bro, I need a PFA. He said, you're in the wrong building. You got to go all the way the hell down to Wyoming Ave. And he pointed the wrong way. So I went in a circle. But Wookie was there the whole time. And I said, okay. So I walked it with my Google map compass. And I got to the right building. And they said, okay, you want a PFA? Okay, yeah. And I had to go through security and all the bullshit and all that. And I finally got to the judge and all of it. So I got to the right building. And I filed the fucking paperwork. But they denied it. Fucking hell. They denied it. Why? Because there's no physical evidence, even on video, that she's violent. Physical. Violent. That's the problem. She hasn't shown signs of being actually physically violent. So no PFA.
The summary is that Shanny has been removed from the house. There's audio confirmation in the link above on Jules Tells All channel. Ghost Strip has a comment pinned to the top of the chat. They are a Pennsylvania attorney. You can use the commands in chat to get answers to what acronyms are and what certain things mean. There are repeated questions in the chat. Ghost Strip does say they can hold her up to 5 days. She can petition and get that reversed theoretically in 24 hours.
It was the same thing with Dragnot. When I tried to get the restraining order on Dragnot, there's no evidence that he's a threat to you physically. So they denied the RO, the restraining order. It's the way the law works, you know. It's really fucking shitty, but that's the way the law works. She free bleeds and refuses to use any feminine hygiene products. I mean, if she had money, enough money, she would get those type of products all the time, I think. But, yeah, she just free bleeds. And, wow.
People have been sending her money, and she chooses to use it on food and weed and whatever else, so that's her problem.
I know. It's not pleasant to talk about, that's for sure. Fuck hell. Ugh.
No, and we all had...
to tell you, though, the truth. I'm extremely exhausted. And pretty soon, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be trying to lay down and get some sleep. Because I have to start planning next moves here. And I know the first step to that is talking to my uncle at length. So, I'm going to go from, you can cut, this is like a perfect interview length, L, like 40 minutes. That's perfect. So, I'm going to try and chill out and get some fucking sleep, at least for a couple of hours, because I've just been going way too long for now. So, let's get together again soon, and I'll do some more with you, but this is fucking, it's too much. I gotta, watch some wrestling, all right?
Yeah,
So,
you need to get that bar if you're gonna go to sleep.
oh, I'm doing that. I
Yeah,
am.
make sure she can't come up there while you're asleep.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Trust me. But I'll be in contact with you. All right.
All right,
All right.
peace
Peace out.
out.
Peace out.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it from Rev himself of everything that happened, and like I said, I was on the phone with him as well as someone else, and we both heard it. We both heard everything the cops were saying. The chief of police actually showed up this time, and he was the one that called down to the courthouse to figure out what was going on with the PFA, because I know there's been a lot of confusion about the PFA. Shanny and people in the chat say that's not how it works. The cop.
So this interview was done, I believe, before Shanny was taken. So Wookie Lover posted, you can see this X post on the screen at 2:21 p.m. Eastern Time that she was gone. And this interview occurred before that. So I don't know what else happens here, but I just want to call your attention to the actual recording with Rev confirming that Shanny has been removed from the house. This is on Jules Tells All channel. We are currently watching Fupa Cheese, so you'll definitely want to check out Fupa Cheese. I'm sure they will be following the story as the rest of us as well. So there is a link to Fupa Cheese channel. Okay. All right, let's see what else happens here.
Cops are saying that's not how it works. People are saying he didn't get it. It's just been this whole drama. And I'm here to say that he did go down there and he did file paperwork. Whether or not what they did with the paperwork, he saw the judge, and we found out today officially from the chief that it was not granted. That's not how it works. So I wish they would have just told him that from the get-go, so we didn't have to go through all this confusion. But that, that's just what happened. And now he can go back and try to get a PFA again with the new video footage, because there's been way more that she's done and said and how she's acted that he could possibly get it. So that's that on that. And I was really shocked that she didn't get arrested today.
Okay, so Ghost Strip, welcome back to Owlette. Welcome back.
Yeah, I did see this. Someone posted it in a Discord, and I'm going to take a look at this, and if I see any...
So the comment on the screen reads, I posted a bunch of timestamps Rev should show the police and judge from yesterday and last night on Frank's channel. Okay, and YouTube does provide most creators with 10 free gifted memberships to gift out to our members each month. So I just gifted 5 of those. Ambulance Girl received one of those. Blue Is received one. Abs and the Friends got one. Lori Girl 81. Wicked City Pops received memberships. Welcome to the nest. And please check out the chat for your welcome video. It's just a couple minutes long, or seconds actually. You can watch it, come right back.
Clips. I'm going to make an updated video. I did upload one that was like a compilation of clips and things that she's done and said. Now, with what she's done and the recent things that have transpired, I'm going to do an updated Shanny threats video. And I'm definitely going to take a look at this. I have a screenshot of all the timestamps that you provided, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. I'm going to do that later on today. Is put together a new video. Yeah, I've never dealt with a PFA or anything similar. So I don't know really how everything works, but there's been a lot of back and forth on the PFA situation, whether it takes 5 days, whether it's granted immediately. I have no idea. All I know is I've heard what the cop said, and it wasn't granted. That's all I know as of right now. And I do think he needs an advocate, for sure, because, you know, handling these types of things can be really confusing to like the average person. Unless you're a lawyer and you know how the system works, it can be really complicated. And that's what people like that are there to do, is the advocates, to help people through situations like this and help guide them through the legal process and the court process. So yeah, I do think he needs to get an advocate the next time he goes down to the courthouse. And someone's asked why I think she didn't get arrested. Honestly, at first, I thought definitely somebody is getting arrested because of the way he sounded when he got on the phone. He did sound very worked up after what happened, and he said everything that happened. And if anything, I thought she could be arrested for false imprisonment because of her, you know, locking him in that bedroom. That's a 2-story bedroom, so it's not like he can just get out of the bedroom by the window. And it was in another room. It wasn't in his room. It was in, like, I guess the spare room or whatever. And he didn't have his phone in there, so there was literally no way he could get out. And she was standing in front or sitting in front of the door, trapping him inside of that room. And to me, that's false imprisonment. So, you know, it's up to the cops whether or not they want to take action when these things happen. If I was the cop, I definitely would have taken that as false imprisonment. And so I don't really know why she didn't get, I mean, maybe because it was another he said, she said, and there was no video proof of what happened. Maybe that's why. I really don't know. Jason.
Okay, so if you want to watch the rest of Fupa Cheese's interview, well, the rest of it, I don't think Jason comes back on, but if you wanted to watch that again, this is the video. Fupa Cheese interviewing Rev and her taking some questions afterwards. We'll listen to the audio once more of the confirmation. Rev stating that Shanny was removed from the house on a 302 order, and a 302 is an involuntary psychiatric hold. And our attorney in today's chat is Ghost Drip, Pennsylvania attorney, who says they can hold her up to 5 days. She can petition and get that reversed theoretically in 24 hours. Okay, so the audio confirmation is on Jules Tells All, and here is a link to this audio confirmation. I'll just play it again if you haven't heard it. It's only a minute, not even a minute long.
Just give you this update. And as soon as you got off the phone with me, I got off the phone with you. I was trying to get to some sleep. And I heard people downstairs. It was the cops. I think that visit from the CPS person, I think the update from not CPS, but adult CPS person, she went to the cops. She's told me she was going to the cops to talk to them about this. They 302'd her. The cops 302'd her. So she's out. She's gone. No Shanny in the house. I'm going to get some sleep.
All together, but I was led astray.
Okay, so that's on Jules Tells All channel. And again, I'll put the link in the chat for that. If you want to analyze that further, feel free, of course. Spiral Color says also, if people sent the hospital she's at the videos of her being batshit crazy, would they even bother watching them? I can't imagine. I mean, the amount of footage that there is on YouTube of them arguing and fighting and God only knows what else. You really gotta have your act together when you're submitting video for evidence. You have to have the time, the date, the link, the exact timestamp, and then preferably clip it out, but also give all of that information as well. I don't think anyone's doing that. I think people are sending links to 3-hour live streams and maybe giving a timestamp if they're lucky. I don't think those are going to be reviewed by anybody personally. The police said that they're watching their live stream because they caught Jason in a lie and confronted Jason by saying, yeah, we were watching the live stream. We know you're lying.
We were watching the live stream. We were watching the live stream.
Yeah. That's just one recording. And we've heard that police officers say that again since then. So that's all I have for now. Thank you, everybody, for contributing to this developing story, I suppose. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ghost Trip, our Pennsylvania attorney, Ghost Drip. Thank you, Kimberlina, for sending the Wookiee Lover X post. And anybody else who was very helpful in this, if I've left you off, I apologize, but thank you. Ghost Drip says, PFAs only concern recent conduct. Anything outside of 30 to 60, maybe 90 days is unlikely to be considered by the court as part of the PFA petition. And as Ghost Drip mentioned earlier, it's unlikely to be granted because they have live streamed their arguments and they see, they escalate and then they calm down. Then they escalate. It is a cycle. And is anyone truly at risk of being harmed? That's not our call to make. That's the law's call to make. So I don't know. But thank you so much, everybody. And if I get any more information, I will certainly let you know. I'll keep you updated. And I hope to see you soon. Have a great rest of your day.